Let's do it anyway. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Kaizen Live series. We've been off for like 2 weeks because we had a couple challenges. Well, guess what? We're back. Back, bigger, better, and stronger. Thank you very much for staying around. Thank you very much for sticking with us. Today, we're bringing you something very exciting, something very interesting. In fact, when he starts teaching, he's teaching me announce himself, right? Tonight we're going to be learning how to turn your idea into a profitable business. Because at the end of the day, you get to realize that there are a lot of ideas in this world. A lot of people have ideas, but ideas are worth nothing until they are executed on. The ideas are worthless. Okay? There are no $1 million ideas. There are only $1 million execution. So your idea is zero if it's not being executed, if it's not turned into something that is worthwhile. So tonight we're having the phenomenal man, Mr. Kingsley Ime. He's a business overall expert. uh, One of the most popular entrepreneurial figures in South Nigeria is going to be teaching us tonight how to turn your idea into a profitable business. I'm not going to even waste any time because I know that we have very like limited minutes. We usually do this for just 30 minutes. Three is already gone, so we have literally 27 minutes more to go. So without wasting further time, I'm going to bring Mr. Kingsley Ime up, and he's going to teach us tonight how to turn your ideas into a profitable business. Welcome, Mr. Kingsley. Good evening. How you
Thank
doing now?
you. I'm fine. Good evening. The Don himself, Joseph
Thank you
Don,
for,
the master.
for thank you for honoring my invitation. I really appreciate. I didn't have to send any letters. I mean, I just spoke to you and I just honored and boom, you're here. Thank you. Thank you very much. Respect, boss. So without further ado and shenanigans, I'm going to exit this stage now so that I can have the floor and go ahead with the training. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Joseph. It's such an honor to be sharing my conversation with you today on the amazing, super awesome Kaizen platform. Like this is like grateful and I'm not taking it lightly. I'm grateful and I'm honored to be here. It's my pleasure to want to talk with you, to share my thoughts as regards to turning your ideas to profitable business, right? Joseph Don is someone that I respect, someone that I look up to. He's a master. Yes, he said I'm popular, but then he makes the money. He closed the deals. So I usually jokingly tell him that I mean, popularity does not mean closing deals. I want to learn to close deals. All right. So, like you said, my name is Kingsley Ime. You can call me the phenomenal Kingsley Ime. I'm a business development consultant, a success coach. That is to say that I raise other leaders to become successful at what they do, and I am an inspirational speaker. By that I mean that I'm a highly sought after inspirational speaker and a thought leader who helps transform business organization by training your team with organizational team performance training that helps transform your business to getting results. All right. So today I'm going to wear the cap of a business coach as a business development consultant. Part of my emphasis and forte is helping individuals turn their ideas into profitable business, because as a business development consultant, one of the forte is for us to help develop businesses from ideas. So I think Joseph just hit the nail on the head and put the square peg on a square hole when he invited me to come share my thoughts on my experience and my knowledge on how you can turn your ideas into profitable business. Just like he said, it is not the number of ideas that is in your head, it is the execution of the ideas. And I want to start by saying, don't fall in love with your idea. Fall in love with the idea that the market accepts. Do not fall in love with your idea. because you can be emotional and sentimental about your ideas, especially if it comes from a part where you went through a rough part. You know, many times you say, oh, because you went through a rough part, it's an idea that other people might need it and will want it. You should create a business around it. And that's true. A lot of businesses today came out of people who went through rough parts, but it is not completely true that all people, all ideas that came out from that part comes out to be successful. So I start again by saying, do not fall in love with your idea, but rather fall in love with the idea that the market accepts. In other words, what's an idea? So I start by sharing with you, I had an idea many years ago. I think 4 years ago, I was in a training by Edirin Edenwo, who's one of my distance coach, right? I call her a distance coach because I had this conversation with her. Rather, I was in her training, and while we were in the training, she was training us on how to make a $1 million in your business in a year. So she called that training I think 1K millionaire something. And while she was training, she was doing that training, she gave a typical example of how you can turn your knowledge into business, right? And she now gave an example, and instantly an idea struck me. Said, Kingsley, why don't you know how to do this part of executing? Why don't you start an accountability partner program where you charge people to be in your inner circle, that you become accountable to them, you train them on effective goal setting strategies and how to execute. That was an idea I got from a paid training I attended. I went further to begin to test the idea. I went on to share the idea. I just went to my timeline and I announced, you want to be a part of Inner Circle Coaching and Mentoring with Kingsley Ime. I'm going to take you for 90 days and I'm going to mentor you. I'm going to be your accountability partner and I'm going to coach you. So 3 in 1, mentorship, coaching, and accountability partner. And I put out a fee, and to, voila, people paid in and they joined. I remember the first batch of people we had in that training. I think it was about 12 people paid 3,000 naira. Was it 3,000? Yeah, I think 3,000 naira to be a part of a 90 days training, right? From 3,000 naira, the result was powerful, because when I am your accountability partner, you have no choice but to execute. And then, to cut the story short, because our time is very short, I have grown that to the popular Inner Circle ICMC with Kingsley. So it was an idea to start an accountability partner program, paid accountability partner program. I changed it. I didn't want to call it accountability partner program. I called it Inner Circle Mentoring and Coaching with Kingsley, ICMC with Kingsley. And today people pay as much as 25 to 50,000 naira to be part of it. In a whole, that one simple idea has become a product, which is, of course, a service in my organization, where I've made well over $1 million plus executing just that one idea. Another idea is this book I'm holding today. This book I'm holding is an idea. It came as an idea. This book, I have made 7 figures. I've sold over 650 copies. It was an idea. That idea has brought in. So again, I start by saying, don't fall in love with your idea. Fall in love with what the market says about your idea. In other words, as much as the idea is great, don't be attached to it. Listen to what the market says, because it's the market that is going to tell if your idea is worth it or not. Quickly, there's so much to teach about turning your ideas to a profitable business, that even an hour is not enough. So I don't know how the magic I'm going to do within 30 minutes. So quickly, what's an idea? An idea is an insight into an opportunity. An idea is an insight into an opportunity. Ideas are, if I look down, I have my notes, so permit me to look down. Ideas are insights into opportunities. Ideas are inspired thoughts on ways to do things better than the original state. So ideas are inspired thoughts on ways to do things rather better than the original idea. So when we talk about turning ideas into a profitable business, in other words, you're saying that it is an inspired thought to do business in a better way than it was done before, for it to be much more profitable. I hope you know that WhatsApp today came from an idea from a group of young people who discovered a back-to-back end way of instant messaging, and they took the idea and went to Facebook to sell it to Mark Zuckerberg. I heard that Mark refused and turned down the idea. They went ahead to execute the idea because they tested it to the market accepted it. Years later, that idea became a big product that Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook paid $19 billion to buy off that pretty idea. So so how is idea formulated? I don't have time to go deeper to break down to teach. Let me just be taking them in point by point. I hope you have your pen, your paper, and you're writing down. On the comment section, as I usually say, tell us your name, where you're joining from, and of course what you do, as well as tell us your aha moment as I have the conversation. So ideas are inspired thoughts on ways to do things better than before. Do it in a better, effective, and a faster way than before. Whether positive or negative, ideas are special thoughts. And you can only have thoughts by the formulation of the accumulation of the right knowledge and information is what brings about inspired thoughts. The right accumulation of information. In other words, the roots of ideas are what? They are information. The kind of information you expose your mind to will determine the kind of ideas your mind generates. If you spend your time around mediocre people, low thinking people, I think there's this popular quote that I love a lot. It said, small minds discuss people. Average mind discusses what? Events. Great minds discusses what? Ideas. Again, small minds discusses about people. So if you're in a circle where every time you guys have conversation, you're talking about people, whether for good or for bad, you are a small mind. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. And every time you discuss only about people and events, you are an average mind. I'm sorry to say that. So you're discussing about Manchester United, of course, I'm a Man U fan, or you're discussing about election alone. Of course, Nigeria, as at this point of recording, we're preparing for our 2023 election, or you're discussing about past events, right? About the Golden Globes Awards or your Oscar Awards or stuff like that. You're an average mind. You talk about people and events alone. But when you move further to discuss about people, ideas, then you are a great mind, because ideas only comes from people who have acquired or exposed their mind to the right information. So ideas comes from thoughts, and thoughts comes from thinking. Thinking is only possible to the degree of the exposure of your mind. Thinking is only possible to the degree of the exposure of your mind. A lot of Africans and Nigerians don't think, we worry. Worrying is not the same with thinking. Thinking is your ability to look at the situation and ask yourself, what is the cause of this? What are the various ways we can, first you think of the problem, you think of the possible, why is the problem there? What is the cause of the problem? What are the possible solutions of the problem? And then you begin to execute. So thinking is a process. You get me right? Thinking is a process, and great ideas only happen to thinkers. The biggest challenge in our dispensation today are that we have a lot of people who don't think. We like to consume products that are being generated and created by people who have think around it and created the ideas. I need you from today henceforth to choose to not only consume products, but to also bet products by creative ideas. And ideas can only come from from creative thinkers. So your mind can only begin to create ideas when you do these three things quickly. When you absorb information via text, via audio, and via videos. You are live on the Kaizen platform today on YouTube, and we're sharing inspired information to you that can spark a thought that can breed about an idea, right? Audio, you have podcasting, and texting you have. So I'm just going to jump out. Number 2 way for you to begin to formulate ideas is through knowledge. I said acquired knowledge. Let me look at my notes. I said acquired knowledge. What you learn, or your thoughts, self-taught, what you teach yourself. So ideas can come from what you learn. Ideas can come from what you teach yourself. So I shared when I started how I made close to a product in my business that has made close to over $1 million for me via an inspired thought while I was in a training. Did you get that? I was in a training, and in that training, our facilitator said something, gave an example, gave an illustration, and the idea came to me, said, look, you can do this thing. Why don't you start this? So you could see that. Then number 3, ideas can be formulated from experience. So number 1, ideas are formulated from information. So ask yourself, what are the kind of information you are consuming? What are the kind of information you're taking in? You need to sieve information and go for only informations that will increase who you are and your awareness to things, awareness to the business environment, awareness to possibilities. Even in the midst of a dwindling economy, there are always big businesses that are bettered. I think there is a book that is written how great businesses emerge from global meltdown and tough economy. Some of the tech companies we're enjoying today, they were bettered at the brink of a global meltdown, at the brink of a financial crisis in a particular region. So you could see that when you expose your mind to the right information, you can begin to create ideas from there. When you expose your mind to knowledge, the knowledge you already have, probably through the things you've done, all right, or probably through the trainings you're going through, it can help you formulate ideas. Number 3 is your experience, the kind of experience you've gotten. Maybe you've been a classroom teacher for 20 years and you know when a child is struggling and when a child is going to do well. You know what to do to help a struggling child academically to begin to do well. That can become an idea that if you meet people like me as a business development consultant, I'll help you mold that idea into a business consulting firm. You can start a consulting services as a 20 years experienced teacher. You can start a consulting firm as a 20 years or 40 years head teacher that you have been. There are lots of people who want to start a school, private school by that I mean, but they don't know how, but they have the money. You have the experience, you have the knowledge. You could start a school, an education consulting services from there, all right? So that's how ideas come from. Of course, ideas are being formulated from that. I think I would not go further than that. Let me just go straight to now. How do you turn ideas into profitable business? In chapter 10, in the last part of my book, Making More Money, I said in chapter 10 of the book, I talked about business creation process. Every business you see today has a process of creation, and the number one step of every business is created from ideas. Oh yes, is ideas. Let me go back to what I told you about thinkers. We have few thinkers and more consumers. People who think more are people who lead more. In the marketplace, your ability to think creatively can put you in the pedestal of being ahead of those who copy those who create. Oh my God, I don't know if that makes sense. Let me know if it's making sense to you wherever you're watching from or you're watching the replay of this conversation. So when you sit down, you must learn to be a creative thinker. A creative thinker is one who is not satisfied by the process of what is happening. You're always asking yourself, how can we do what we're doing in a much more better and in a more faster place? You're making 100,000 naira or $100,000 in a year. You're thinking, how can we increase generating $100,000 revenue a year in our business to $100,000 revenue per quarter? Let me ask you, and let me give a typical example using the naira. So if you're making, say, a 1 million naira a year, you could start thinking, what are the different ways with which I can now generate 1 million naira per quarter or twice a year? So from being once a year, you're thinking, how do we make 1 million naira twice a year? So that would be 2 million naira. And then when you hit your 2 million naira goal, you said, how can we now make 1 million naira per quarter? And then you can take that again. After you've achieved that, you keep thinking again, what are other creative ways we can generate 1 million naira per quarter? Is once in 3 months. How can we do that in 1 month? How can we do that in 1 week? How can we do that in 1 day? It's very possible. So you see, creative thinkers don't settle. They look at how are we serving our customers? How can we serve better? Jeff Bezos and Amazon today is valued as one of the top big companies in the world. I think it's among the top 3 companies in the world, brands in the world today. Why? Because they keep thinking of how to deliver faster and effectively, how they can make sure that once you come on their platform, on their e-commerce platform, you will find everything you're looking for. They move from selling just books to selling everything you can think of. So it's creative thinking that makes that happen. Ideas comes every day to humans, but you train your mind to see it. You have to learn to train your mind to see ideas. It is said that we think we have, an average of 1 million thoughts comes through our mind every day. But your ability to settle down and think of and see them and grab them matters a lot. So here are the 3 ways that you can be able to see ideas. You see ideas through thinking. You see ideas. Ideas are intangible, but you can see it with the eyes of your mind. So when the idea came to me to start ICMC, Inner Circle Mentoring and Coaching with Kingsley, I started seeing the people I can help. I started seeing the solution that my service is going to offer to people, because we are not short of knowledge. Knowledge is in excess in the world today, but we have very few people who execute. It is those who execute that take the result home. Those who acquire alone don't get the result. So my job in inner circle mentoring and coaching is to help you execute. That's why I become your ruthless accountability partner. So what you have learned and what I'm teaching you, I make sure I follow you up to execute it. And many people have come back to share amazing testimonies and fantastic results that they've gotten. So 3 things quickly on ways you can see your ideas. Number 1, through thinking. Number 2, through meditation. Number 3, through observation. Many people think, but they don't meditate. You meditate, you take one particular thing and you meditate on it again and again and again. So I have a particular product that I've been aiming to make $1 million from per month. I've not hit that goal, but I've been meditating every day. I take an idea, I put it in my head for days and weeks. I look at the pros, the cons, I look at the possibilities, I meditate. Meditation is going deeper and looking at every angle, looking at the positivity, the negativity, looking at it from the point of the consumer, from the point of the competitor, from the point of you, the producer. That's meditating. So you can even take your current business and sit down to meditate on it again. You can even take your current market and dissect it further. Dissecting helps you know who are the top 20 people that their contribution to my business, their patronage to my business is the one that gives me the maximum result. So what do? You pay more attention to them. It's called Pareto principle, the 80-20 rules. It said that 80% of your result comes from 20% of your activity. Even in your business, 20% of what you do generates 80% of the revenue you make a month. So you could settle down and find out what is the 20% of activity that actually brings the 80% of the money we make in this company. So you pay more attention, you put more energy to increase that activity. So number 3, observation. You can get ideas by observation. Oh yes, you can get ideas from observation. From my background as a science student, I mean, it's funny, right? I studied science, but today I'm doing art as a business person. Of course, business is art, right? But science studies help me to understand that great scientists are people who are very observant. All right, enough of said about ideas. So now let's go to how do you create ideas? How do you turn your ideas to a profitable business? Now, I don't know, can you see my book? If you look at my book here, you will see. Let me see if you can see that. Oh, okay, so you can't see that. Let me read it for you. Idea. The first step of every business is ideas. I said every business starts from the place of an idea of a product or a service, which is either better than what is already existing or does not exist. So ideas come for 2 things. They either come to make what is existing better, or they are introducing what has not existed before. Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, social media was not existing before. Mark Zuckerberg started that idea through his skill as a tech, as a coding expert. He sat in his dorm and said, I want to create an app, a social app that we can communicate within our school. That was an idea of introducing a means of communication that has never been existing before. And then they tried it and the market bought into it. They welcomed it. They loved it. More people were subscribing. From there, they said, oh, maybe we can take it from Harvard, I think it was Harvard, to another campus. From there, oh, maybe we can now take it outside the school walls or the 4 walls of the university where we were, and allow other people to begin to use it. More people were embracing it. And then they started looking at how do we make money from it. Today, Mark Zuckerberg is said to have been the youngest billionaire to be on the Forbes list. I think he's about he's among the top 20 billionaires in the world. I don't want to miss my citations, but I know he is among the top 20 billionaires in the world today. And Facebook is not yet up to 20 years. All right. So your first point of contact is ideas. I said ideas is your ability to think about how whatever is existing can be done better, how the product you're using in the market can be done better. So in Nigeria, we have a cleaning product that had already been existing. Pardon me, I'm going to mention name. So there's something called, there's a cleaning product called Jik. Jik was one of the #1 cleaning products in the market, that was dominating before now. They were the #1 dominating factor in the marketplace. Veralyn, I see you. Thank you very much for joining, right? So they were one of the dominating. But another product that is into cleaning also came to the market. And They thought of how to gain market penetration, which is one of the things my company does excellently well, market penetration strategy. Now, before now, when you buy jig, you have to buy 1 liter of jig, 5 liter, 10 liters. And if you buy 1 liter of jig and you only wanted to remove stain, it's stain remover, thank you. You wanted to remove stain from your shirt and you only have 1 shirt, and probably that shirt, you don't wear it often, and you remove the stain. The remaining liters of the quantity of the cleaning stain remover will be in the bottle and be in your home until it expired. So some guys came together and brought another product. What they call what do they call this new product? I don't know who can remind me. Joseph, can you remind me this stain remover that is 20 naira today in the market? What do they call it? Hypo. Yeah, thank you, Hypo. So Hypo came to the market with a better idea. Why don't we produce our own cleaning stain removal, and that stain removal, we can sell it for 20 naira. So you can buy a little quantity that you want to use exactly. Thank you, Joseph Don. Hypo. That you want to use exactly for that consummation. So if you have 3-4 clothes that you want to remove stains, you just buy Hypo for 20 naira. Very small quantity, and you can use it. 2 things happen. Number 1, they produce the quantity that is going to be used per time. They made it easily very affordable, and that 2 strategy, those 2 ideas, clear the other people out of the market. Today, we hardly find jig in the market. Hypo has dominated. Now, Hypo took a step further. They did not just do stain removal. They went further to do what? To become stain cleaning liquid. So Hypo can be used to clean the toilets. It can be used for disinfectant, right? It can be used for mopping. So they are not just stain removal. They are now, so you could see ideas are here to bring about something that has not been existing, or to make something that has been existing become much easier. We're using StreamYard today. StreamYard is making me at the comfort of my office in my home. I'm teaching every one of you watching from all over the world, Asia, Europe, America, Canada, wherever you're watching from, you know, wherever. But I'm in the comfort of my home and you can hear me clearly. That's a product. I think today StreamYard is worth millions of dollars, because someone sat down and said, let's create a software that you don't need to install it on your phone. You don't need to install it on your laptop. It's just a software. You can just sign up and you could use it to teach, to do facial meetings. So that's number 1 step, ideas. So the next stage, when you have gotten an idea of a business to do, an idea of a product to create, the next step is that when you have done that, you go to the step 2. Is in my book, Start Small, Sell Out. I said your next stage of process of the process is creating a prototype of your product. Don't just create an idea and start louding it over the market. Oh, you know, you had an idea, you look for 1 million naira to invest or 2 million naira to invest in it, and then you start churning out the product. No, if you do that, you may fail. Remember when I started, I said, don't fall in love with your idea. Fall in love with what the market accepts, what the idea that the market accepts, because that you love the idea does not mean that the market will love the idea. It is what the market accepts that will become a profitable business. So we've seen a lot of failed businesses. The business is failing because the idea originators don't want to listen to the market. Markets don't respect you. They don't respect where you're from. They don't respect your religion. They don't respect your tribe. What they respect is it going to be beneficial to me? Will it solve the problem I'm looking for? Once your idea can solve their problem, they will welcome it. They will buy it. Does that make sense? So step 1 is that you create an idea. Step 2 is you create a prototype of the idea. Remember I said when I started my ICMC with Kingsley, ICMC in inner coaching and mentoring with Kingsley, I didn't jump into it just saying, hey, everybody, I didn't call it ICMC as when I started. I said, I want to start an accountability program where for 90 days, I will be your accountability partner. And I will help you execute and achieve 90% more, 100% more of what you have ever achieved, because it's ruthless execution all through. And I said, would you be interested? That was the question I threw out. And I got a lot of yes, yes, yes. In fact, I know a lot and I'm not executing them. You see, I tested it. I said, okay, let's start. I started with 3,000 naira. So I had, I think, 10 people that joined it. So for 90 days, 3,000 naira per person, that's 30,000 naira. I was doing it 90 days. If you divide 3,000 naira by 30,000 naira by 90 days, you would know what that means. You know why I'm laughing. So today, so that idea, I created a prototype. So people jumped on it. I did it even while I was doing the routines, what I'll be doing in 90 days per week, per day. I was just watching, I was observing. I brought in some trainings that the people did not buy in. They didn't welcome it, so I removed it from the curriculum. I brought in an activity that they all bought in and it helped them got results. That one stayed. So you see, I was test running it. By the time I finished test running it, a young lady today is one of someone that I refer to a lot. She went from not knowing what to do. I started this idea during the COVID year, 2020. Started from not knowing what to do to becoming profitable in her business, and she won several awards that year, joining the accountability program. So the following year, I changed it from being accountability program to becoming inner circle mentoring and coaching with Kingsley. So when you sign up, you become part of my inner circle. You have a privilege to meet 247. You can access me. I share ideas with you. I sit with you with your idea. And I do what? I help you incubate it. And then I hold you by the hand and ensure you execute it. Our time is up, but I'm going to rush through it. I know that Joseph Dunn is going to come on very quickly right now. So let me run through it. If you want more, probably, I don't know, maybe you can get the book, Start Small, Sell Out. I took time to teach on it on the last chapter of my book, chapter 10 of the book. So this step 2, when you have created a prototype. Now, I said that you want to make sure what is in your head in terms of the image of the product comes out the way you imagined it. Now, then you sample the prototype to a pool of consumers. Listen to the market. Have you seen that many of the consumable products, fast-moving consumable products we enjoy today, they don't just start mass production. They produce a prototype, they test run it. I remember one of the mouth cleaning products. I won't mention their name. They're not paying us for adverts. Mouth cleaning products. They created a sample of a sachet product of it into the Nigerian market. And I bought it and I loved it. I loved it. I went to the market. I went to the store again to buy another one. They said, oh, it was just sample. They wanted to sample and test the market to see if people want it. Now they have mass produced it in a bigger quantity. So you could see every great businesses, every idea in your head can never become a profitable business until step 1, you move from making it an idea to creating a prototype. Prototype is that you create a sample, you bring it to the market. You could even do a free testing. You could give people to test for free. Somebody was saying, oh, I want to produce Zobo product. I said, you can produce Zobo product. I think Don will soon come. All right, so you test run it. I told the person that, look, if you want to produce let me give you a free idea. So how do you compete in the market and create a product, a drink like the soda? Of course, you know what soda products are. You know what soda drink is, right? I don't want to mention their name. You know that already. So create your own. Go to, for instance, in Port Harcourt, we have bole stands everywhere. Go to the bole woman and tell the woman, I have new products that I want you to give to your customers for free. Every time they buy your bole, what 500 naira, give them this drink for free. Is naturally produced drink with recipe. You know, we have Zobo that have different recipe now. We have pineapple Zobo. We have we have all kinds of recipes. So give them to just do a sample around the city of Port Harcourt, for example, if you're in Port Harcourt. Maybe you target 20 bole stand and you take 10 pieces of your bole and you put someone there. Don't just give to the woman. Put some volunteers that are there. So when somebody buys bole worth 500 naira, you say, well, for buying bole worth 500 naira, we're giving you our new amazing Kaizen drink. Let me use Kaizen now. Kaizen drink is locally made and is very nutritious and healthy. Take a test of it. It's free. It's sweet, you know. And then they drink it. I like it. It's sweet. How do you get the reviews? When you do that again and again, the bole woman will be happy that you are helping her sell more, because people want the free drink. Because they want the free drink, they have to buy at 500 naira instead of 200 naira food. Now is a win-win for her. After a while, you can now say, oh, the promo time is over. Now you have gotten the prototype. You've listened to the market. If the market likes it, when they come there, they say, Madam, say if I buy 500, you go give me that free drink. You didn't give me that last time. I like that drink well. That's vernacular in case you're watching from any part of the world. What I said is that the customer might come and say, hey, Madam, that drink you gave me for free. If I buy 500 naira out of bole today, you will give me that drink for free, Abi. The last time I tasted it, I loved it and I want it again. You see, you're getting feedback now. If they come back next time and you're giving them for free, say, Madam, this thing that you're giving me, I don't even like it. The last one I tasted, it wasn't tasting nice. You have gotten a feedback. So you go back and repackage it. The time is too short. I will close now in 5 minutes. I'll just mention the point. So the next point, from idea to profitable business, number 1 is that the idea of the business must not be in your head. You must take it from your head. First, for you to even be qualified to go to the marketplace, ask yourself, this idea, How is it making an existing business better? You don't need to bring an idea from the moon. You can look at an already existing business and look at ways that business can be done better. Take an already existing product in market, break it, pieces it down, and see where there are flaws it and how you can do it better. Once you have that idea, package a new product from the existing product and bring it to the market to test running, and they are going to start looking at it. So the next one is MVP, which is, of course, what do I mean by MVP? Market validation process, which I just said. And then finally, we have the product itself. Once the market have validated that they love it, that they want it, then you can now begin to go into mass production. There's a whole lot about idea creation. I love talking about ideas. I give you for free. Go on YouTube. Okay, you're on YouTube. Go look for design thinking. Is a course. Look for a course called design thinking. Go on Coursera, Udemy, and all those platforms. Design thinking will help you a lot more. There's design thinking, there's creative thinking. Any course that has to do with enhancing your ability to think creatively, it will work. But remember, ideas that are going to become a profitable business are ideas that the market accepts and receives. Once the market does not accept it or receive it, forget about it. Don't be angry. Change it. If you wasted the, no, you didn't waste the money. You learned something new. Start a new one. Well, I shall hope that this very brief, quick, concise conversation makes sense to you wherever you're watching from. Remember, my name is Kingsley. Thank you, Joseph Don, for giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts.
Oh wow, thank you very much, brother. This was so insightful. Thank you very much. I know, so if I leave you, you will continue till 9 o'clock. We just have to stop. We're gonna have more. You should be attending Kaizen Live series, be attending our hangouts, because I think in the next edition of our hangouts, because we plan to be running it monthly now, Kingsley is going to come and expand more on this subject. So, guys, shall they attend our events? All right. Thank you very much.
Now, when you have gotten the idea, make sure you meet Joseph Don to help you sell. Once the market have not accepted your product, once they have accepted your product that is profitable, come to Kaizen. I have my own product. I'm coming to Kaizen. They have to help me, teach me how to sell, do creative follow-up strategy, and close the deal. I want to close deals, man.
Oh, all right, people. Thank you for sticking to the end. We have to say goodbye now. We'll be back again next week with another episode of Kaizen Live series. Thank you for sticking with us. Till now, take care of yourself, everybody, and good night.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.